Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where we are currently observing our traffic patterns as we enter rush hour here. Now we are definitely seeing a significant number of people actually using our subway, up to 13,000 in the last month, which keep in mind, time is kind of weird in this game. A month is a day, and a day is a month. It's strange. It's very strange, but that is the way that it works. So today, we've been seeing 13,603 people using our subway. That is a significant number, considering that we only have these 4 subway lines, right? We'll have more later on, but for the time being, that looks good. Now, I do want to check in on what's going on down over here. I believe we had just worked on this, giving this a dedicated turn lane here, and we expect this to clean up. If we don't have situations like this going on with this guy cutting in here, yeah, that's not necessarily ideal. This is going to take some time for this to work its way through, so I'm not too concerned about that. And this has a similar sort of situation going on here. In fact, I don't like the way that this lane flow happens. Yeah, I don't like the way that the lane flow happens. Let's go to our large roads and let's upgrade this area right here. That, of course, is going to mean that we have no crosswalks here. Absolutely none. And it looks like we don't need to worry about any stoplights here. So that seems reasonably fine. Go on. Apparently, he doesn't want to go that way. Okay. I would honestly prefer that this be a dedicated turn lane at this point. So we could have this section go back down awkwardly to a 4-lane highway that then expands out again here, kind of like this. So this is now a dedicated turn lane, as is this, and this is a short but dedicated merge lane. So something along the lines of that. We could also see about making this be 2-lane, and honestly, I think that that would help matters here pretty tremendously. If we upgraded this to a 2-lane. What is that trying to do here? Okay, this is very strange. Why did it decide to do it this way? Let's put it here for now. Okay, I don't know why it's trying to do it that way. Let's rebuild this. And that's going to come out about here and come up somewhere over here. That's slightly better, but no left-hand turn allowed here. Ooh, it really doesn't want to have this be a lane, does it? This is still going to be 1 lane of traffic exiting this way. That's the problem. And I mean, yeah, there's a left turn here, which is illegal. So no left-hand turn here. Yeah, this really doesn't work here. I also don't like this steep area. Let's just get that out of there for the time being and rebuild this guy real quick here. So this will, of course, have to be up at this level. Putting this guy in about here. And then trying to merge it in like that. I mean, that isn't great, but sure. And I guess we could take this out and try to rebuild that to try to get those lanes working correctly, because they're definitely not working the way I want them to here. Definitely not. So it's trying to get a left-hand turn here, which we don't want. No left-hand turn here, but I want this to allow a left. I want this to be a dedicated turn lane. This lane allows a left, but also allows a straight. So I guess at this point, this needs to go down to being a 2-lane, 2-way highway. Like that. And that creates what I wanted in terms of the lanes. Yes. And then it'll expand back down here. And this becomes a dedicated turn lane. So yeah, that would do the trick. I do want to say no left-hand turns here, since I just now noticed that. Yeah, that would do it. That should start cleaning this up pretty significantly. The major question, of course, being, these guys have stopped taking this route, broadly. And yeah, there's a bit of a wave to the highway here, but I'm not too concerned about that. Are they just heading over this way and doing it here? They might be. That is definitely a possibility, but traffic should start flowing here considerably better at this point with these dedicated lanes. Oh yeah, traffic is definitely moving a lot better here. The major problem here right now is just that the simulation is moving pretty slowly, right? But I want to take a look at what we've got going on over here. This is a very similar sort of problem. We do have a dedicated turn lane out over here. But it needs a dedicated merge lane over here for sure, because we're just stopping here. So let's put in a dedicated merge lane here, and we can have it be something like that. Absolutely not on the crosswalks or the stoplights. Get out of here with those. But that'll give us something anyway. We'll have a little bit more space to move in here. The big problem here, of course, is there's a fair amount of traffic trying to come this way, and these guys are trying to merge into this traffic. And that's where that problem comes from. But this will at least give us a little bit more to work with there. So this intersection, I think, is... yeah, it's basically fully cleaned up. We have a lot of people trying to head out this way right now. And that's where that backup is coming from. But they are moving at a relatively regular rate. And I think that that will clean up fairly soon. Down over here, there's a lot of people trying to take this left path that ends up bypassing this. We could make one of those awkward connections up over this way like we did before. I don't like that as a solution. I don't think it's a good one. So these guys are wanting to take a left and head northward on this highway, which makes a lot of sense, to be honest. I'm not surprised about that. So if we wanted to allow that, what would be the best bet for doing that? Well, we could make an awkward exit out over this way, like we did before. That would end up coming out, you know, somewhere out over here, coming around. That's currently sloped too steep, but coming around over here and then looping up, it would definitely be awkward. No doubt about that. And it would have to go down and under here. So it would end up being something kind of like that, right? And then it would come out over here to about there. And then it would come out this direction and merge up over here. That slope too steep, but it would allow it to come in about there. So I don't love this bypass at all. And this left-hand turn should be eliminated. But it does allow us to stop this nonsense, because I think that they're going to start pathfinding. Yeah, they're pathfinding this already. So this should show up as a shorter path than this. And it's a better path for sure. There's some awkward left-hand turns here, which we should forbid. Consider that done. And let's see if that cleans that up. We'll see if that gets flagged as any additional traffic issues. Up over this way, there's some accidents, but that's not flagging any traffic jams. There is a traffic jam showing up at this roundabout. Okay, arguably, we could make this into a overpass. This traffic wants to turn right, a lot of it. This traffic wants to go straight. So I think arguably that's not a terrible concept. So we'll knock these guys back and we'll put in an overpass here. So we're just going to grab a highway here. And that's going to be right up over here. I want to bring this down to the ground, although this is going to be pretty steep here. We might actually want to have this one be the elevated one and have that just come on through over to about here or so. And then just bring it on through like this. Then this guy would be the one that would drop down to the ground. And ultimately, we would want that to come through straight for now, up to about here, and then dip down to the ground. That is sloped too steep all the way through here. Okay, we're going to have to flatten out this area a bit, I think. So we're going to have to take this back out. This area I want to terraform, and we're going to need to do a level terrain of this height. So we're just going to flatten out this area about like so. And that'll give us a little bit more flatness to work with there. Then we can bring this through, and this is going to still be at 10 meter. So that's actually working reasonably well through there. And then that just connects up to about here. I'm just looking at the pillar position. That should be okay. And then we would grab this guy right up over here and bringing that into angle snap only mode. We'd drop a pillar about there. And then we would be concerned about bringing this down to be... What are we looking at here? Oh, this actually works really well here. Yeah, that works really, really well. So we can just do something kind of like this. Bring this guy right on through, and then bring it up over here. We're going to have to back this off a little further, though. Yeah, that's going to be non-ideal in that position. Okay. So let's just bring it in from this side next. So I want this to be elevated to be, you know, around here or so.
Please exercise caution if you must.
I'm a little concerned about this dipping down.
Until conditions improve.
But actually, this does work. So we can just bring that right on in like that. We'll see how overpass ramps end up working up over here. We can certainly bring one in over this way.
Me and my sister love you.
Yep, that looks good.
That's nice.
What about over here?
You all got clarinets and violins, but you got something most
Sure,
music
that
these
seems
days
fine, I
focuses
guess.
on. Let me
And then we
guess,
bring
when he
this
was
one up.
traced back to the great
Slope too
Hayden
steep.
himself,
Yeah, I'm
Let's
not
see.
shocked about
Y'all
that,
got
but that's only
soul.
12.6. Hang on.
Yes, soul. A
That slope too steep up
plaisance
here.
d'étoile.
We could build it up here, though. And that seems
My
okay.
sister said
So then
whoever
this one would
got
come out
playing the
somewhere
keys
down here.
got more funk
Looks
in
good.
his pinky.
Okay, so we get an overpass
I
there,
told her
and we want to
that
make
ain't
sure that we
fun.
have no left-hand
That's
turns
classical.
allowed.
Yes,
So no left
indeed.
here,
That must
no
be
left
most exacerbating.
here.
Classical music has
no
been
left
known
here
since the
in
time
any of
the
this.
early
Just
Stone
no
Age.
lefts
Pop
allowed.
by
Spam
contrast
that
is
button.
entirely modern conceit,
Fantastic.
and you'll
No
find
left-hand
none of that
turns.
here.
Okay,
As they
so
say,
that should clean this
is
up
for the
a little bit
layers.
anyway.
Now, let's
Yeah,
hear
there's
another
some
one of those
awkward
soul
pillars like this one and some texture issues,
housing
but that's all
shortage
just
is driving up
visual. I'm not
prices
too
in the
concerned
area.
about that right now. That should clean up this area very nicely. What else do we have going on for traffic? We have something up over here.
Welcome, Professor. So a housing
I suspect that
shortage
this is
bad for
mostly people
trying
wanting to
move
take a
here,
right-hand
right?
turn.
Humans are programmed to decide
We could simply put a
certain
bypass here to
representations
bypass
within
the...
structures, which are entirely
Yeah, we could definitely do something like this. That's an invalid shape, apparently.
For example,
Okay,
consider
we could back it off to around
Question,
here
Professor. Is the housing shortage going
and
to
put
make
that bypass
music-
in somewhere like
by
here, right?
certain metrics, perhaps, yes,
Yeah,
in the
like
short
this.
term.
I love
So
the
the
sound of
bypass
that.
here
That's why we
is,
have
of course,
discussed
intended to just
study
mean
of
that if you're going
physical
right here, you
abstraction
don't
and
need to
its
utilize
effect
the
on
roundabout.
human
Thank you, Professor.
If you're going any other direction, you do. And we could have this be an
We're
asymmetrical
live,
road here.
and
So
we're
this would
getting
be a
reports about a
small
traffic
road,
accident,
asymmetric 3-lane,
somewhere,
and that would end up
in the city.
being
Road maintenance services
not
have
this
already been
direction.
dispatched, and traffic flow
I
should
want the
return to normal.
single lane to
But
go
if
on the
you're
other
planning a quick
side.
trip out, you might want to wait a little while until everything
How do we
clears
do
up.
that?
If you're in it, you,
How do we change the
you already
side
know about
that
it.
the
No use
3-lane road
reminding
is going to
you.
go on?
Meanwhile, expect
Can we
delays and
rotate
ride
it?
safe.
I don't think so. I want the single lane to be on the bottom side here. Not on the top side. Okay, it doesn't seem to want to do that. Interesting. We didn't have any problem with that before. Oh, you just... Hang on. It's on the bottom side here, and it's on the top side here. So it's just based on the directionality. That's kind of weird. That's very weird, actually. So how would we flip this around? Because I definitely do want to flip it around. So that this becomes a dedicated lane here. I mean, ultimately, it does matter, though. I was going to say ultimately it doesn't matter because most of the traffic is just going to be doing this, right? But it does matter because we're going to have people like over here trying to come out this way, and this guy just merged in from here. Okay, that seems physically possible, but whatever. I would very much like to figure out how to get this to turn around. So, like, I'm trying the middle mouse button. Right mouse button doesn't seem to do it. Can we... Oh, we can click and left click and drag to change the directionality. Okay. Gotcha. So that's fine. We'll do exactly that. And we do need to get rid of these crosswalks. We don't want pedestrians up here. And we don't want a stoplight over here either. No control required here. So it's just going to be something kind of like that. And yeah, we're now going to have a lot of people trying to merge over here, but as this cleans out, people will be able to merge a little earlier. We could also try to make this a dedicated lane, but I don't think that's actually useful here. The main problem is these guys, right? Like, you need to get out of there. Just get merged. But this traffic is going to flow much better with this now. And we'll see how that ends up going. These guys, they're going to have a problem for a little bit here while these guys try to figure out how they're going to merge. I suppose we could make this be 2-lane, but if we did, how would we merge that in up here? I don't think that's a great concept. Yeah, I think ultimately the problem here is just people need to be in the correct lane, right? And once this clears out, they'll get there. We are seeing traffic regularly moving through, but the problem here, of course, is that these guys are yielding, and they shouldn't. Honestly, they shouldn't yield. So don't do that, guys. It's fine. What do we got going on here? This is, I believe, part of our traffic jam from before? Very heavy traffic going this way. Oh, we've got crosswalks here, for one thing. Let's eliminate those. Those absolutely do not need to exist here. There we go. So that'll help a little bit. But the main problem here is that this needs to be an overpass, I think. I think there's no way around it. This one has to be an overpass. So we're going to take this out back to here. There we go. And we'll just make this be an overpass real quick, and I don't expect major issues here. So that'll be fine. We'll bring this down to 10 meters and expand this out. We'll just bring that down to the bottom as quickly as we can. Yeah, right about there. Let's lock this to angle snap. Looks good. And then we'll bring that to about there. And then we'll bring it back up over here-ish. There's a little bit of a bend to the road, but that's fine. And from here, of course, we can just extend this highway straight across. Perfect. And we'll get in our right turns here. So this will be something like that. This will be up over here. Sure, that'll do. This will be down over here. Yep, that looks okay. And other direction. Up over here. Sure, that'll do. Now we're going to make sure that left turns are forbidden in each of these. So no left turns there. No left turns in any of these spots, please. Thank you very much. Just no left turns. Get out of here with those. Okay. Now everybody's going to figure out their new position here, and we'll start to see the traffic flow through here considerably better. And that's going to clean up all of this traffic up here as well, or at least some of it. A lot of this traffic is caused by people trying to exit here. But this is being blocked by these guys trying to enter here, which that is now going to get freed up by this traffic flowing on through down this way. Hello, left turns. No left turns allowed here. Thank you. Okay, so we'll get that out of there. And traffic will start to flow down this direction. No left turns allowed here either. We've still got a number of those. Cool. And then we get down over here. Right. I think for now, this isn't going to run into issues, although it might eventually. So as far as our northbound traffic goes, that should start to move pretty well. I don't know why this guy's just parked here, but whatever. Yeah, we've got some lane changes going on. It's pretty jam-packed right now. We're definitely having some issues right over here. I want to take a look. Do we have any elsewhere? So we see a jam out over here, allegedly. That doesn't look like a real jam to me. These guys are just spreading out into the additional lanes, and that seems absolutely fine. I don't think there's a problem there. As far as this goes, this looks like it's a lane-changing thing. Okay. Nothing too major there. There's one allegedly out over here. Okay. This one is fair enough. This might be an overpass situation. Yeah, let's put in an overpass here. Wait, actually, hang on. A lot of these people are trying to travel from this north-south highway over to this west highway. That's going to be a left-hand turn. So that means that this isn't a great candidate for that overpass model. Okay. So we'll come back to that. I want to check in on other locations. Okay. We still have this jam going on a bit up over here. This is... Oh, there's a road maintenance vehicle right there. That's the primary cause here. I do think that we're making our way through here. This bypass is cleaning things up over here a little bit, but it's mostly lane changing here, right? That's the main problem right now. These guys are just not in the correct lane, and they need to make their way through, and that's the primary issue there. As far as this goes, well, road maintenance vehicle. We could bring this up to a 2-lane turn, and my main concern there is just merge in up here. And that could block off the entire roundabout, which would end up defeating the purpose, right? I don't love that idea. So I think we're just going to leave this be for the time being. This is just a people trying to merge into this lane situation. Almost everyone here is trying to take this right-hand turn. So there's that. And then we had this situation here, and the question is, how much did this overpass clean it up? Well, a lot of this problem is caused by the sheer amount of southbound traffic. And then, of course, we've got this roundabout here, right? And this roundabout is actually still fairly important. We've got this bypass here for our northbound traffic. But as far as our southbound traffic goes, there's not a similar overpass. A lot of these guys are trying to go west. So that's definitely noted. We're going to be reaching the end of rush hour soon, so a lot of this will start to clean up. Yeah, the main problem here, northbound, is this exit is jammed up because these guys are trying to merge in, but the southbound traffic is cleared, or clearing anyway, and so we expect that that will get better. Southbound traffic is improving, so these guys will start to be able to merge on eventually. But it will take a little bit of time for that to happen. As far as the northbound traffic goes, what is clogging it up here? People just heading out onto Middle Street here? Okay. It feels like this through lane should be doing better than it is, but whatever. I assume that that's due to people merging in awkwardly. And a lot of that is just due to the fact that there's not a lot of room to merge, right? So that is understood. That's absolutely fine, and eventually we will work our way through this. Rush hour will be over soon enough. I think that we've largely made the changes that we're going to the highways that exist right now. I want to check in up over here. Yeah, this highway is backed up a little bit entering this traffic circle. which is mildly surprising to me. This one's a good candidate for an overpass, isn't it? It kind of is. I'm going to do it quick. So we've got enough time here to get a quick overpass here. Going to knock that back, and then we're going to extend this out from here. So we want to bring this down on angle snap only. That's all slope too steep. Ooh, okay. So we might need to do that in the north-south direction. So let's bring it from up here. Angle snap only. Bringing that down to about there. I don't know if we can get over that. We can bring it back up like that. Certainly. We might be able to get over it. Let's find out. So that would mean this guy would come in out over here. We're probably going to have to go up a bit. So that would mean about here. Let's go into angle snap only mode. And then bring it back down as we headed out over this way. So that would end up being something kind of like... Okay, let's knock this section of highway back a bit. Yeah, I know we have a pretty big correction there. And let's bring this guy out to about here. And then using curve tool, I'm going to bring this, actually multi-curve tool, I'm going to bring this down and in about over here. Okay.
Has anyone seen my...
Now the question is, can we get a ramp up that? What? Honestly, I kind of doubt it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to connect this guy from here directly over to here. That's going to be a little bit better. But I don't know that a ramp is going to go in there very nicely. We'll find out. Actually, that's not bad. And then we can bring this guy in down over here, this guy in up here, and then this guy down over this way. That slope too steep?
And on to
All
our
of the
main
others
feature
have been
story.
okay.
The commercial district is booming as the area
We'll
is
just try
attracting more
moving this back a
high-end
little bit.
stores, bringing the latest in luxury to our neighborhood. You can
Uh-huh.
now shop for designer shoes while sipping a fancy
Only
local
this
Java
direction doesn't want to
latte.
work.
Or
Let's
so
try
I
building
like
it
that.
from this
That's
side
good for business and good for the
and see what
community.
happens here.
Thanks, Jim. We'll be back after this.
Slope too steep at a
This
17%
just
grade,
in
huh?
for traffic. If you're thinking
I don't know
hitting the
about that.
streets,
I'm
you can
pretty sure we
expect
can find a place to
delays
build
on the
this.
major roads, especially during rush hour.
Good to know, Jim.
Pretty
Seems like
sure we can find a
everyone's
place
in
to do
hurry
this.
To get somewhere fast.
The question is where.
It's worth slowing
I would
down.
feel like this would
And
work.
If you can, plan your trip outside.
Or alternatively, I mean, this does dip down a fair amount right
I
here.
have to start thinking
We
about
could
it.
try rebuilding
Besides,
this
if I did
section
that,
to
I'd
just
never get
bring it
anywhere.
in right here, right? That's giving slope too steep up over here, though, and so we might have to knock that back and then bring this through about like that. I think that's a little flatter, maybe. Hopefully. And let's see if that works. So then that would be this guy coming in somewhere over here. It would need to come in about here, right? So maybe even way back here. That's a 20% grade. That's really close. But I think we're going to have to remove these sections of highway. I didn't mean to remove that one. But we're going to have to flatten this area out. Okay, so I'm going to grab this point, and we'll do something like that. And then this guy would come through on the ground to be about there. And then from there, we would bring this up, right? And let's take this out, get that out of there. And just bring this on through, elevating it up. Angle snap only, please. To be about like that. Okay, now we can reconnect this. There we go. And hopefully, we can sneak this guy on in here. Curve tool, please. Overlapping items only. Okay. Fascinating. That slope too steep, though. It was because we were on the wrong height, I think. So this would be coming down, you know, something kind of like this. But that's definitely too steep. We could just omit that connection. I don't like that option, to be honest. I don't like that option at all. And now we're not getting a good way in over here. Wait. That's 17.2. Uh-huh. So we can have it be back over here, and that works fine. That's okay. We're just fine with that. Okay, that didn't work because it went underneath. Gotcha. It didn't actually snap to the highway here. So that would be coming down over here. The slope too steep here is a 31% grade, which that does make sense. That's a pretty steep grade. No doubt about that. But we can bring this guy in theory, something out over here. Like this. That's a 21.6% grade. So what about if it were to come in something like this? 17.8? I really feel like we can find something here. I really, really do. Maybe if we build from this side. Okay, so that is a 25% grade. 21.4. 19.3. There really should be something here. If we bring it out this direction, it would of course be not ideal. So, there's definitely an option here somewhere. That's giving us slope too steep just in that one little spot. It's so close to going in here. So what do we want to do about that? Well, I think a big part of the problem might be this section here, the way that it goes up like that. So let's just bring this back through here, like that, and see if not having that bulge there helps. It probably will. And we could potentially remove a bulge here too, so we may as well. So that would end up being about here and connecting that down. Okay. How does that help? It's still a very, very steep grade, but we could potentially have it be back over here, right? I'm okay with that. This is about a 20% grade, so that's a bigger grade than it was previously. That doesn't make... Actually, it kind of does make sense now that I think about it. So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have this guy come out and be at like a 5-meter elevation step or something, and position it somewhere around here. Around here. So that's 8.75 meter. And then we can try to merge it in out over this direction. Or even just bring it down like over here, right? So that brings it down to 5 meter. And then try to bring it in out over here. And that's still a huge grade, even though we are definitely descending over that time. It's not enough. It's remarkable to me that this one went in and this one isn't, even though they feel about the same. But I think what we really need to do here is take this section out and get rid of this, and get rid of this as well. Take this out, and on a lower elevation step, we bring this guy through, and we just put it on the other side here as low as we can, like this. Then we bring it back up over this way. So we would put this back up at an come on, there we go. At an elevation step of like 20 here, and put it like that. So yeah, there's a significant upturn there. We might even want to get rid of that and then reconnect this here. So this would then connect in about like that. That would look a lot better, in my opinion. So that is absolutely fine. Then we can curve tool like this, curve tool like this, and this is still sloped too steep. even though it is definitely less steep than it was. And I feel like it's less steep than it was on the other side as well. That's a 20% grade still. Okay. Way back over here, this is still a 20% grade. Insane. Absolutely bonkers. I really feel like we should be able to make our way up over here somewhere. Hang on. Did I just see one over here that was allowed? No, I didn't. Wait. No. Okay. That's showing up as slope too steep down here. Hang on. Out of curiosity. This is going on too long. I get that, but yeah, this is definitely vexing is the term that I'll use here. Vexing is absolutely the right term. This side doesn't feel like it's all that much higher than this side, to be honest. And it's a little higher, I suppose. We could just try to take this section out then. Go on to minimum elevation step. And then bring this guy over and put it here, right? In straight line tool. Here. Then have it come in up over here. Like that. And that drops it down a little bit further, in theory. Then we reconnect this. Like that. Reconnect this guy out. No, in curve tool. Out this way. So something like that. Easy peasy. And then this one is still like a 20% grade, but that is in it. Hang on. We got him. Okay. It's awkward looking. No doubt about that. But I'll allow it. We'll go with it. That one was tougher to build than it should have been, in my opinion. But we got there in the end. I knew there was a way to do it. I just wasn't entirely sure what that way looked like. As we go down here, I think that we are significantly better off to have this be a 2-lane highway in this section and have these be dedicated lanes, kind of like this. And we could do the same thing underneath as well. So this can go down like that. So this should be a significant improvement. Now, it is well past time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue to work on some of this traffic, I'm sure. But realistically, I think that the majority of this is fixed. I do want to do some of these 2-lane changes as we go through some of these overpasses. So things like that will greatly clean this up, because that will force people to move over here if they're merging and here if they're going straight. That just gives us the lane control that we're looking for on that. So that'll be okay. We can definitely do that as we work our way through some of these areas. But as I said, it is definitely time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we'll get a few more of these changes done. But broadly, we'll just need to be concerned about this, I think. We'll see how that ends up going. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods, and also we're seeing these build up as well, in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Kintogan, Ali Lee, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time. That intersection took way too long to build. No doubt about that.